says this is actually a very popular bank spot, and he said if there's no bankies here, have at it. So guys, put them out. It's kind of cheating because we got some inside intel, but he said that he had a double already this morning, landed one, both on diver and shrimp.
Yeah, well, we better rig some stuff up now.
Well, I don't think we need to run bait. I say we just pull plugs through here, and if that doesn't work, then we bobber dog it with eggs.
Okay. This would be winter steelhead.
Yep.
Color I would use back home water, so we'll try it out here and see if something grabs it.
Okay. Then you guys running 3.5s. I'm gonna run a 3.0.
You will be on the inside.
I'm gonna be on the inside rod.
As we read the synopsis last night, and we talked to other people, of course, this is a barbless hook fishery for both kings and steelhead. So we're gonna pinch our barbs on since we've been fishing over on the in Oregon in certain rivers that are okay to have barbs.
We picked out our plugs that each of us are gonna use. Now I'm fishing the inside seam over here on this side of the boat. So I'm running a little bit smaller plug, smaller profile. Again, even though the water came up to 40 degrees, 42 even, having a smaller profile might be the ticket to get these fish to bite. So I'm gonna run this little guy, this little Meglet 3.0, give him a shot, start out. Sun's coming out, clear water, that metallic should shine really well, and we're gonna put some gel scent on.
I'm gonna run a color I would run home, back on the other side of the state there, and so I'm gonna put shrimp scent on mine.
We just picked out all of our scents. Ryan's got his going on his plug setup. He's running the old standby, what we like to use back on our side of the hills. And you know, pink is always a great steelhead color, but I always like to add a little bit of scent to them too. And sometimes we'll add a little piece of sand shrimp tail or a little piece of prawn tail to the belly hook. On these smaller plugs, that typically won't work. So having a good gel scent will help out a lot. And the gel scents will actually stick on the plug and make them stay on there while your lure is down in the pocket working a lot longer. So when you put it on, try not to put it on the bill. That is where the water's pressing against the lip of the plug and giving it its action. So when you put your gel scent on, you're gonna put it on the belly of the lure, and that scent will permeate back in through the water column right in behind it. So again, put the gel scent on the belly of your plug so it doesn't affect the action of the lure. So the scent I'm gonna put on here right now is Squid, and that's a scent that we typically think people use mostly for sturgeon fishing. But for the most part, actually steelhead, their diet out in the ocean is 40 to 60% squid and mackerel. So squid is a great scent to use even for steelhead. Now we are several hundred miles away from the ocean, a long ways away from this food source, but hey, I'm gonna try it, see if we can remind them what they used to like to eat out there. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it on right now.
Every once in a while, a new lure comes along that catches every angler's attention. It could be because of all the irresistible colors and finishes, or the patented skip beat action. Or maybe it's the wide variety of sizes designed for salmon, trout, walleye, steelhead, mackinaw, and more. But just for the record, we know one thing for certain. We didn't design the mag lip to catch fishermen. Yakima Bait Company.
So we just got our lines out there beyond the boat. Brandon is running his as a stinger a little bit further behind Ryan and I. Typically what you like to do is have your plugs even so that you push the fish back. Well, in this cold of water, it's really not gonna matter. So we're kind of staggering them throughout. Brandon has a darker color plug, a little bit subtler presentation going back there. We're just about ready to get the rods and the rod holders and start back trolling through here. And what I wanna do is make sure that my drag is set properly. So what we got for our setup right now, this is the perfect steelhead plug rod, really nice light in the tip. Gets that plug action to it. What you don't want is a stiffer rod for running a plug. If you do, it actually kills the action of the lure. So that's what we're running for our rod setup. For our reels, we're using a line counter reel, which is really important, so that way we know our spacing for each line behind the boat. For our line, we're using Maxima Braid 8. This is a great super line that's on the market right now, and this is 40 pound, which sounds like it's a bit overkill, but there are a lot of big steelhead out here, so having this power line is gonna be important if we do end up hooking up into a bigger fish. But what's nice about this line is that it's really thin diameter, so it's not going to be grabbing a lot of water and affecting the action of our lure. But because we're using braided line with a softer rod, we need to make sure we get our drag set properly. If it's too tight, the rod is just going to buckle down and the hooks are gonna pull right out of the fish's mouth. If it's too loose, we're not gonna get the hooks in the fish's mouth. So what we need to understand is how our system works. With a softer rod and braided line, there's gonna be give in the rod.
Hey, Bill, get this. Right there. There you go, Ryan.
Go ahead, Ryan.
There you go, buddy. Pick it up. I go.
Hey, Dr. Death, same setup that we use back home.
Do that at home. Just lay it on it. Go.
First spot, 5 feet into our back troll, rod down. I love it.
Yeah.
Pull the boat over to the shoreline so we can take this fish out of the area where there's other fish at, so hopefully it doesn't spook the other fish in the river.
Oh, we say this all the time, but guess what? It's just a steelhead. Steelhead here is a steelhead there. Steelhead right there. My first Idaho steelhead right there in the net. Hatchery fish too.
Okay, 5 minutes into the first day with the same gear we use back home. Watch, that's gonna be the only bite we get in 2 days.
It's just a steelhead, right?
Now it's a hatchery fish too, so we can keep this one.
We can keep 2 a day.
2 a day.
We are in a derby. You want big ones. I don't feel like this is a big one for this system.
But you can, now you got one. And these fish.
And then you fish for a bigger one after the first one?
Yeah. And these fish, they.
You gotta remember there's a mystery weight.
It's a mystery prize.
That's true.
I knew you were already laughing, pal.
That's my challenge.
1, 2, 3.
11, 21.
But Ryan just picked this plug out. It was a brand new plug. It's one of our favorites back home called Dr. Death. It was in the Maglet 3.5, and you can see right there on the back end, just shredded. Teeth marks all over, and this again was a brand new plug, so the paint was perfect. This thing's already chewed up, Ryan. Ryan, you just got your first fish, and we're gonna go ahead and tag it, but what I noticed is that the Idaho tags are a lot different than what we have in Oregon and Washington. We actually are gonna notch this tag, so let's talk about this real quick. How does this work?
Well, it looks like right here, they have a notch for if it's a fish. It says even bird on here. But
Yep.
it's like you have to notch it out for each fish. You can take your knife there, Gerber knife, we'll cut out a notch.
Yep.
And you have month and day, fill it out for today, and then the location code, which we have a catch card here.
Yep, and it looks like we are location 3, so let me get the knife out here real quick. There you go, and then I'll trade you. I'll take the knife, and here's the pin, write down the date.
Good work. All legal then?
5 minutes in, first fish in the box.
I get my rod back out there.
Yep.
All right, here's our first steelhead of the day. We harvested this one. You can tell it's a hatchery fish. It's missing its adipose fin right here. You can see the healed over scar. It's a hen, so we're gonna get some eggs inside of this one. She definitely has got a little color on her. She's been in the river for, could be up to 6 months. These fish come down through the Columbia River all the way up the Snake and then into the Clearwater here. Like I said, this fish could have came in April. Who knows, could have came in a month ago. She's definitely been in the water a little while though. So I'm gonna put it in the box here. I'm gonna get the blood out of it, make the meat taste better. There's also eggs that we're gonna use for bait later. That'll get the blood of the eggs so we can cure them up and use them for bait later on and try to catch another fish.